and Paris Saint-Germain, two of Europe's most ambitious clubs. One shot at becoming the first champions of football's boldest and maybe most controversial new competition. Call it an experiment, call it a money spinner, but tonight it's a final and the players out there know exactly what's at stake. It's about a trophy, a rather interesting trophy, we'll get to that later on, but about history too, about ending the season on the highest possible note as, in inverted commas, world champions. PSG arrived chasing perfection. 4 trophies already this season: the League, the Cup, the Champions League and the Trophée des Champions. Now they stand 90 minutes from a clean sweep. They've been devastating in the tournament as well. 4 goals past Atletico, 4 past Real Madrid, just 1 goal conceded in 6 games. A midfield in perfect balance, like a fine engine ticking over. They're purring at the moment and their front line is full of threat too. Ousmane Dembélé has returned from injury and hit top gear. Kvaratskhelia has brought chaos and class from that left, and teenage star Desiree Doué is playing without that fear imbued and years of campaigns and hard work. He's a fresh and exciting young talent and has been one of their best performers in the tournament so far. Luis Enrique has kept the system stable, he's kept the squad fresh, and tonight he will send out the same 11, I believe, that swept Madrid aside with ease. We'll get to the team news very shortly. Chelsea's story, though, is a little bit more chaotic but no less compelling. They've had to grow into the competition, beaten by Flamengo in the group stage, stretched by Benfica, tested by Palmeiras. But in the semi-final against Fluminense, it was something else. A breakout performance from João Pedro, and maybe a sense of belief as well. It's the youngest squad of the tournament, managed by Enzo Maresca, still in his first proper season at this level, but they've shown resilience, hunger and a growing understanding of who they are and who they might be in the Premier League season to come, which is just a few weeks away now. And now with 1 game to go in this tournament, they're chasing a second trophy of the season and the chance to end it all with something very few clubs ever claim: global supremacy. There's battles everywhere tonight. Chalobah immaculate in the semi-final, now tasked with keeping Ousmane Dembélé quiet. That's no easy task. João Pedro red hot since joining up against Marquinhos, Brazil's Iron Man. 99 caps at the international stage, almost 500 games for PSG. In midfield, it's Fernandes versus Vitinha, are going to be the 2 best players in this tournament so far. Enzo the creator, Vitinha the controller, both vital to how their teams function. And across the pitch, individual moments may shape this final, whether it's a flash of brilliance or a moment of composure under pressure. So, to the teams. And from Chelsea, one very big call. Reece James returns, but not in his usual position, we believe. Enzo Maresca has named both James and Malo Gusto, meaning we think Reece James will step into midfield alongside Caicedo and Fernandes. It's bold but unfamiliar as well. James effective there. He played consistently in midfield for Wigan when he was on loan back in 2018-19. He's done it before for Chelsea. It's certainly a role that he understands. Christopher Nkunku, who started the semi-final, drops out. That means Cole Palmer shifts wide to the right. Pedro Neto keeps his spot on the left, and João Pedro continues up front. Enzo Fernandes operating as that playmaker. Chelsea line up with Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Colwell and Cucurella across the back. Caicedo and James anchoring the midfield. Neto, Fernandes and Palmer in support of João Pedro. For PSG, no surprises. Donnarumma in goal. Hakimi, Marquinhos, Beraldo and Nuno Mendes make up the back 4. Vitinha, Neves and Ruiz in midfield. And up top, Doué, Dembélé and Kvaratskhelia. It's the same side that blew Real Madrid away, and they'll feel the same formula could finish the job tonight. So now just moments away from this showpiece final, and I say showpiece in the most literal sense of the word. You've only just joined us now, but for the past 10 to 15 minutes there's been quite a show put on at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which I'm happy to say is pretty much sold out. Capacity of 82,500 here on the outskirts of New York City, the home of the New York Giants and New York Jets in the NFL. Robbie Williams was performing with an official FIFA anthem. There were fireworks, jet flyovers, the American national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. President Trump is here, as is Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president. And at the moment, on the pitch of the MetLife Stadium, the famous boxing announcer Michael Buffer is about to ask the crowd around him, are they ready? They are calling out the 2 teams as if they're boxers. In the blue corner, Chelsea in the white. All in white today, PSG. White chain strip with white shorts and navy blue socks. Chelsea in all blue with white socks. in a huddle at the moment. PSG in their positions and ready to get underway as Michael Buffer G's up the crowd one last time at the MetLife Stadium. Plenty of representation in the stands from both of these two sets of teams. PSG, of course, have become quite the brand in world football. Their global status has absolutely rocketed this season. That performance in the Champions League, fresh in everyone's memories. Two teams that know what it takes to win at the top level. Two relative newcomers maybe to the top table of European football. But here, thousands of miles away from home, in what officially is their final game of the 2024-2025 season, both of them have the opportunity not just to win this trophy, but to take home quite a prize. One final night, two teams built to win. One looking for that perfect season, one looking for something else to build on. It's Chelsea that kick us off. PSG with history on the line. Chelsea with nothing to lose, and it's their keeper, Robert Sanchez, who will launch the first attack forward with a long ball up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Too high for João Pedro, and it's into the feet of Gianluigi Donnarumma. Should give us a good opportunity to pass on our best wishes to Jamal Musiala. There has been, of course, some eyebrows raised and some questions asked of this tournament. Its positioning, its purpose, its scheduling. Jamal Musiala, unfortunately, is going to be out for some time after that sickening collision with Gianluigi Donnarumma. Here come Chelsea. Cole Palmer with the ball towards the near post, and it's easily collected by Donnarumma at the front post. We can say what you want about this tournament. It's bloated, overhyped, unnecessary. But the final does have real intrigue, of course. Big names, big stakes. Some young players with their stars on the rise. A glimpse of the future and maybe something to come in their upcoming campaigns. And PSG have given it away, slightly sloppy early on. It's João Pedro, tries to steer that inside to Enzo Fernandez. He'll shepherd that out of play for a corner kick to Chelsea. It's Vitinha who was just caught in possession, dawdling on the ball there, the former Wolves midfielder. Well, taken quickly, it's Cucurella. Now Cole Palmer on that left-hand side. Inside to Gusto. Looking to get it onto his right foot, slips it to his left. Here is Cole Palmer again, three around him. He smuggled it past them, finds Reece James in a central position. Back out wide to Pedro Neto, forced out towards the corner flag. First touch to set himself in towards the near post. There's deflection on the way through. Cucurella can only steer it across the face of goal. It's back by Colwell. James into the penalty area, bouncing ball. João Pedro couldn't collect it. PSG will just about scoop it clear, and it's Chelsea that have started the brighter on the front foot here in MetLife Stadium. And the first real intervention from the referee, Alireza Fagani, the Australian official. It's a very good spot as well by the assistant referee. Here on the near side, Anton Shetinin. Long from Marquinhos. Little back heel from Kvaratskhelia. Straight to Cole Palmer, who runs that back into PSG possession, and it's out to this left-hand side where Mendes will turn back. Beraldo into midfield for Vitinha, as always, just operating as that pivot in midfield for PSG. It's Moises Caicedo, who is pressing high in the PSG half, looking to turn it over. Just concedes the foul, but you can see that the Chelsea front line are working really hard here already. It's a busy beginning from Chelsea. As we mentioned already, the American President Donald Trump is in attendance. It's the first game he's gone to in this tournament. He has been rubbing shoulders a lot with Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president. And there was a temporary exhibit this week in the lobby of Trump Tower, next to that 60-foot waterfall, as that's nodded back by Pedro Neto, the first man back on the edge of the 18-yard box, pressured by Hakimi into the hands of Robert Sanchez. Yeah, this FIFA's new Club World Cup trophy was on display. It's in collaboration with the luxury jewellers Tiffany & Co, which is just down the road on 5th Avenue in New York from Trump Tower. As they'll turn on the halfway line, Chelsea, and feed this to João Pedro, who's picked up a good position at wide on this left-hand side. Holds the ball up inside the 18-yard box, and Pedro backwards. Neto in support. João Pedro on the left-hand side, near the corner of the penalty area. He'll just slow play down a little bit. Find the support of Cucurella. Pedro Neto tries to prod that past Marquinhos, and collected as he sprinted past him, but Marquinhos slipped it inside to Lucas Beraldo, who's put it out of play for a throw-in. Much to his captain Marquinhos' displeasure, says, we'll play the quick pass and let's get going, rather than give possession straight back to Chelsea. As that's tossed in by Cucurella and back to him by Neto. Cucurella back down the touchline. And it's infield from Colwill to Chalobah. James holds it up well and will just get a toe to it to feed that forward to Pedro Neto. Now here's Cole Palmer, trying to hold off Fabian Ruiz. Malo Gusto away by Beraldo. Cleared down the left-hand side by Nuno Mendes. Chalobah keeps it moving though for Chelsea. Caicedo, he speared one down the touchline. A little bit too much on the pass for Malo Gusto, but they're really trying to fashion an opening. Chelsea in the first few exchanges. Will be a half-time show as well today at MetLife Stadium. A lot of innovations in this tournament. Ref cam, of course, has been one of them, which has led to some interesting clips. Worth a little watch on social media if you see them. There's been new entrances as well, as each player gets an individual entrance before the game, and then the two squads line up facing each other, almost adversarially. Of course, the razzmatazz, the Super Bowl feeling, the most conspicuous addition tonight. Chelsea with a throw in deep inside their own half. It's Gusto into Chalobah. Now Colwill on the penalty spot in the Chelsea box, as Fernandes has found Caicedo, and now down the right-hand side comes Cole Palmer, racing onto the pass, and Palmer now towards the edge of the penalty area. Stopped by Mendes, but Gusto picks up the second ball on the outside here. Gusto looks back down the touchline, will squeeze the ball to Reece James. Caicedo, James again. Wonderful goal against Benfica in the last 16, Reece James from that free kick. Caicedo. There's Neto on the left. Back infield to Caicedo. Ecuador international will find Reece James. Held up well by Enzo Fernandez. Now to the left-hand side here for Pedro Neto. Will step inside onto his right. Fernandez finds the ball forward to João Pedro! Palmer from the edge of the box! And it curls narrowly past the post. Slick move from Chelsea. Palmer tried to wrap his left boot round it. It all starts with Pedro Neto on the left-hand side. Found Enzo Fernandez, saw João Pedro just peeling off of his man. It was a nice back heel from the newest recruit. And Cole Palmer tries to just curl that inside the post. It ricochets off the framework behind the goal. And Cole Palmer can put his face in his hands and look to the heavens. That was a great chance for Chelsea and wonderfully crafted as well. That's long from Donnarumma. Chalobah took it down and just caught one from Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Chelsea will play on. Sanchez up towards the halfway line. Gusto takes down the header from Nuno Mendes. Now here it is with Chalobah. And now James on the right-hand side. Chelsea trying to work their way out of their own half of the pitch, but PSG now pressing high in the Chelsea half. And that's down the right-hand side. It's a wonderful ball to find João Pedro. It was Chalobah first time, and here is Pedro. He's trying to hold off the attentions, the challenges of Lucas Beraldo, but the ball just wouldn't settle for João Pedro. It's PSG back in possession. It's Vitinha on the ball at the moment, but he has no space at all. João Pedro is all of a yard away from him. Now with Marquinhos walking it forward. The latest trophy, we were talking about it earlier. There's a fascinating feature to it. It starts off as a shield, but there's a special key that opens it up. And it turns it into what FIFA calls a multifaceted and orbital structure, which means it moves. It's an interesting piece of design. And the key at the moment is one that can only be used by the FIFA president Gianni Infantino. Make of that what you will. Here is Kvaratskhelia. Gusto sticking to his task well. Inside by Ruiz. And now Mendes. Vitinha. First real concerted period of possession for PSG so far. Now Marquinhos. Beraldo. Vitinha. João Neves. Advantage, says the referee. And he was caught by Neto. Here's Vitinha again. Well, out of possession. Actually, Pedro Neto dropping into the left-back position to give Chelsea a back five. Caicedo did really well to just disrupt that PSG move, because Ousmane Dembele was starting to accelerate and look lively in the centre circle. He's been coming together with João Pedro and Nuno Mendes, which has caught the attention of the referee. Pedro just cleared the ball, but in the follow-through, his leg's gone up in the air and eventually come down over the shoulder of Nuno Mendes. In the 12th minute. MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. It's Chelsea that'll be happier with the way they've started. PSG just starting to tick a little bit over the last few moments. Here is Vitinha. Floated out towards the right-hand side. Desiree Doué. Hakimi. Collision with Caicedo. Referee points to the ball. Chelsea allowed to play on. Here's João Pedro. Looks to find Neto. Ball just was reluctant to reach him. It's Marquinhos with the clearance. Throw-in taken quickly by Chelsea. Down the touchline looking for Pedro. Throw-in is taken by Pedro. Back heel to Enzo Fernandez in the corner of the box. Trying to hold possession up for Chelsea. Gets in the way of the clearance. And now he'll pick up the second ball after João Pedro got in there with a challenge. But that's given away by Enzo Fernandez. Collision off the ball. It was Marc Cucurella with the challenge, and well, it was clearly spotted by the referee because he's brought it back for the foul on Desiree Doué. Cucurella, one of 4 former Brighton players in the Chelsea lineup today. Could be counted as 5 as well with Levi Colwill on loan. Caicedo, Sanchez, João Pedro, Marc Cucurella. Mendes, back to Beraldo, across to Marquinhos. Chelsea plays such a high line, it's on the halfway line. Every time PSG pick the ball up in their own half, Chelsea really not nervous to apply the pressure. Vitinha will try and walk his way through that press. To the right-hand side for Hakimi. Lofted towards the back post, but too far away from Kvaratskhelia and easily out of play for a Chelsea goal kick. If you're only just joining us, welcome along. Cole Palmer has come the closest so far. Chelsea with the brightest start. PSG always pose a threat. Sanchez, clever ball straight through the middle of the pitch. It finds João Pedro. Tried the little cute pass, but it's off the heels of Lucas Beraldo. And Hakimi gives that to Fabian Ruiz on the edge of the centre circle. Here's PSG in possession again. Forward for Dembele. Laces off to Mendes. Now Ruiz again. Dembele. Kvaratskhelia. Dembele. Spun towards the back line. It's with Marquinhos, the captain. And now Beraldo, left-footed ball into midfield. Hakimi. Doué. Back to Hakimi on the halfway line, just towards that right-hand side. Marquinhos. Beraldo. Nuno Mendes on this left. Dembele. Spins one forward, is Fabian Ruiz, corner penalty area, low across the face, a goal! Doué tried to lay it off, Cucurella kept his calm, got in the way, and that would have been a tap-in. Desiree Doué was trying to tee it up for Achraf Hakimi. A let-off for Chelsea. Fabian Ruiz was one-on-one with Levi Colwill. It was across the face of goal. Fabian Ruiz. Cucurella's read that like a book. Well, I was expecting Desiree Doué to hit that first time. Yes, from a tight angle, but from that close in. Sanchez pumps this long here for Chelsea. It's Gusto. Pull back towards the edge of the box. Fernandes. Oh, it's a clever idea. Just too high for João Pedro and chested back by Marquinhos into the hands of Donnarumma. It was Doué at the far post. Fabian Ruiz with a wonderful spot to find him. He had Hakimi well placed. But Cucurella anticipated the pullback. Donnarumma. With a clearance charge down. Gusto to Palmer. Gusto nods that down the touchline. Palmer will trot after it for a moment. Watch that roll out of play for a Paris Saint-Germain throw-in. Palmer electing to conserve his energy in that moment, and it's been that kind of tournament as well. The heat and the disruptions due to the weather have been an unfortunate feature of this FIFA Club World Cup. It's been a bit of a strange experience, hasn't it? Kvaratskhelia on the left-hand side. Ruiz. Dembele. Back to Fabian Ruiz on this left flank. Lofted into the penalty area. Chalobah let it bounce. Dembele is putting under a little bit of pressure as Gusto lofts it down the touchline. Possession handed back to Paris Saint-Germain. First real lull of the game at the moment as here comes Dembele trying to change that. Dembele finds Doué, edge of the penalty area. Doué! Well saved by Sanchez, low down to his left. Just took the sting out of the shot. Anticipated Doué reversing it into the bottom right-hand corner with his left foot. Powerful header from Reece James in the centre circle. Turned back by Marquinhos to Gianluigi Donnarumma. Correa. James to Chalobah. Long from Sanchez, far too long in fact, and it's going to... Oh, it's almost all the way out of play for a throw-in. Over the 6-yard line. Instead it's Gianluigi Donnarumma who could just trot up to this near side, pick up the ball to dribble it into his penalty area. On the touchline, right hand side with Doué. It's wonderful play as he turns and spins one down the flank, and it's Hakimi running onto it. Kvaratskhelia trying to make tracks in the middle. Played back to Vitinha. Now Marquinhos. Vitinha again. Chelsea have got players back now, and it's not quite as open as it was as Hakimi made ground down the right hand side. It's with Beraldo. Mendes. Well, no free kick there, despite the protests of Desiree Doué. Marc Cucurella. The ball in his hands for Chelsea. 20 minutes on the clock in New Jersey. Still Chelsea 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Sanchez lofts one down the right hand side, where it's chested down by Gusto, juggled down the touchline, but it's out of play, says the assistant referee. PSG in possession with Vitinha. Doué on the right hand side. Hakimi now. Cucurella in front of him, and will try and follow him as he bursts in field, and Hakimi steers one out to the left hand side now for Ousmane Dembele, who has Kvaratskhelia running around his outside, and it is Kvaratskhelia lofted left footed towards the 6-yard line, flicked away by Cucurella. It'll drop here for Pedro Neto. Here's Reece James on the edge of the centre circle. Now Palmer. Oh, Pedro Neto wanted that much earlier. He's just stood there on that far side with his hands on his hips as all the momentum evaporates for Chelsea. Colwell. Cucurella. Back to Sanchez. Down the right-hand side, Mendes. He's got that wrong. Here's Gusto. Chops inside. Gusto. Smothered. Pull back. Here's Palmer. And there's the opener for Chelsea. Places it into the bottom corner. Gianluigi Donnarumma stretching down towards his right. He can't get anything on it. And Gianluigi Donnarumma is not happy about something. Enzo Fernandez is in a bit of a clash with Achraf Hakimi. It's all getting a bit fractious here. Reece James deep in conversation with Hakimi. Alireza Fagani, the Australian referee, will call both men over. Midway through the first half, Chelsea lead. They look likely, Chelsea. The question is Malo Gusto onside? It looks like he is initially from the replays we've seen. He just races in behind Nuno Mendes, who gets his header horribly wrong. It looked like the chance might have gone as Malo Gusto was smothered, but he kept his head as the ball came back to him, fed it to the edge of the box where Cole Palmer took one touch to set himself and the other to stroke it through the legs of Marquinhos as it rolls into the bottom corner with perfect precision from Palmer. Chelsea lead. That's the first goal they've conceded in 5 games. Their record in this tournament has been almost perfect, barring the aberration against Botafogo. Gusto. Caicedo. It was Neves with the challenge that conceded the throw-in. Not what PSG have come to expect. It's the Conference League winners who lead the Champions League holders. Cucurella will turn that down the left-hand side, and João Pedro will run across to get there. Beraldo follows him. But the offside flag is up. Looked to me like João Pedro had tried to time his run, come back onside, and wasn't really expecting that kind of pass from Marc Cucurella. Beraldo to Marquinhos on a warm evening, an afternoon in New Jersey. Mendes, of all players as well, he's been virtually faultless. People have been saying that PSG have the two best fullbacks in the world, in Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi, and it's very hard to argue at that assessment. It's a nice ball down the left-hand side, and Kvaratskhelia almost got there. Chalobah sprawling in with a challenge. And a break now in this first half, as both players, sets of players I should say, walk across to the benches, as they'll take on some fluids in this cooling break. That's been another feature of the tournament, these scheduled delays to compensate for the weather. FIFA insisted on playing this tournament in a very, very small window of opportunity in an already congested calendar, especially for clubs of these sizes. We already said that Paris Saint-Germain have won 4 trophies already this season. That's mean they've been involved on 4 fronts, and now a 5th here, thousands of miles away from home. For many of these teams, and pre-season before their domestic campaigns get underway is only a couple of weeks away. Footballers often get criticised for making a lot of money and being paid too much, and you can understand that kind of criticism sometimes, of course, in these times of global cost of living and people struggling to pay their way, and you do see players making a lot of money, but also at the same time you have to consider some of the conditions. These players are not going to have much time off at all. In the case of Jamal Musiala, injured so sickeningly in that collision with Gianluigi Donnarumma. A broken leg's going to keep him out for a long period of time. He's so important as well to Bayern Munich. Still delicately poised, Chelsea with the slender advantage, of course, here. Paris Saint-Germain have had their chances. It's Chelsea who have been a little bit more positive in the way they've gone about things. It's Cole Palmer that's profited. We are ready to get back underway. It will be a throw-in on the near side. Paris Saint-Germain throw-in midway through Chelsea's half of the pitch. And by Mendes. Back to Beraldo. Now Marquinhos. João Neves. Hakimi. Neves. Lucas Beraldo. Now Vitinha. To Mendes on this left-hand side. Dembele. Vitinha. Dembele on this left-hand side. Tried to curl on right-footed, and Reece James is right on top of him immediately. And that's floated forward by Colwill to Palmer. Vitinha backpedaling in front of him. Palmer into space. Palmer! Oh, he's repeated the trick. It's almost exactly the same finish. And Chelsea have doubled their lead. Bought himself space with a dummy. Left PSG players sprawled in their own penalty area. PSG are in trouble here. They were complacent at the start, the restart. It's a piece of brilliance from Cole Palmer, who in the blink of an eye has given Chelsea total control of this FIFA Club World Cup final. Palmer on the edge of the box, dropped the shoulder, little dummy. First to deceive Vitinha, then to sit Lucas Beraldo down. And he's placed it back into the exact same corner. And the result is exactly the same. It's Chelsea 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Cole Palmer needs no cooling break. A cool breeze in 30-degree weather. As Cole Palmer's gone to ground, I think he was caught there by Nuno Mendes just off the ball, but PSG will play on. It wasn't spotted by the officials if there was anything to spot. And now Gusto has got into a clash, and it's all getting a bit scrappy on the halfway line as João Pedro goes to ground, and now PSG appeal for a foul. Chelsea looking for the referee's whistle. In the end, it's Cucurella that steers it back to Sanchez. Cole Palmer's back to his feet. He's mopping at his lip at the moment as if he was caught, maybe by a errant elbow from Nuno Mendes. Chalobah's clearance closed down by João Neves might give us an opportunity to revisit one of those incidents. As Cole Palmer has just suggested, I think, to the assistant referee that might have been an elbow. We'll have a little look. Oh, it does actually catch. That's pretty bad, in fact, from João Neves. I'm not sure he meant anything by it. He's just turned past Nuno Mendes. And as both men try and turn, in trying to avoid Cole Palmer, who's turning at the same time, Mendes' elbow has caught Palmer on the temple. No foul, though, say the assistants. Cole Palmer back to his feet, but I don't think he needs to worry at the moment. 2 goals to his name already in this final. Sanchez. Now here is Palmer. Gusto. Back to Cole Palmer. Reece James. This falls back towards his own penalty area. Sanchez will clear up towards the right-hand side. Gusto shoulder to shoulder with Mendes. There was a concern before the game that Malo Gusto or Cucurella might be overrun down those right-hand sides by the wing-backs and the wingers. Crouch Kelly, Adue and Mendes and Hakimi, but at the moment it's the other way round. They're really struggling to cope with Malo Gusto getting forward. Since taking this 2-goal lead as well, if you were with us earlier, we pointed out that Chelsea were dropping into a back 5 when out of possession of the ball, but playing a little bit more with more confidence as Pedro Neto has been given more license and might be given the ball here as Enzo Fernandez can't get that through the legs of Desiree Doué. But it's Caicedo that picks up the pieces for Chelsea in the centre circle. Now Reece James looks to turn it out to the right-hand side. No space there. That's laid off to Colwill. He will stab it forward, and Enzo Fernandez lays it off to the left-hand side where Cucurella will jog onto it. Pedro Neto. Clumsy challenge from Hakimi. Free kick goes Chelsea's way. It's really clever from Pedro Neto just to lift it past Hakimi and draw the foul. Cucurella out on this left-hand side. The yellow card's been shown to Pedro Neto. I think for something he said to the referee. Well, elsewhere there is football going on in the UEFA Women's European Championships, and England have a 3-goal lead against Wales, who are playing in their first ever major tournament, and it's not gone how they'd hoped. It's not going how they'd hoped against England tonight, who lead by 3-0. That means England would go through top of the group as it stands after a worrying start and a disappointing defeat to France. Here's Nuno Mendes. Worked across the back line for PSG. Bit of a taste of their own medicine tonight for PSG. Looking for a response, ideally before half-time. It's Marquinhos carrying it forward up towards the halfway line. Turned down the touchline, steered infield, laid off by Doué, finds Hakimi. Caicedo just got in the way, but then concedes the free kick. He's going to be shown the yellow card for kicking the ball away in frustration before conceding the free kick. 2 yellow cards, 2 very soft yellow cards, I will say. Kvaratskhelia. Mendes. Vitinha. Marquinhos. Just outside the centre circle. Doué. Well won by Caicedo. Tries to find João Pedro, just caught in his heels. And Beraldo and Marquinhos can sort this out and get it back to Donnarumma. Vitinha. Lofted over the top, and Fabian Ruiz is chasing after this. Sanchez committed early. And a good job he did as well, because Ruiz was about to catch up with that. And instead the ball's at the back row of MetLife Stadium. Kvaratskhelia. Vitinha. Spun towards the right-hand side. Here's Vitinha. Well, they've seen quite a lot of the ball, Paris, but haven't really done very much with it. Just one real chance for the Champions League holders. Just one shot on target. Just 12 touches for Kvaratskhelia. Down the right-hand side, Mendes under pressure from Gusto into the 6-yard box. It was an awkward ball for Donnarumma. And Chelsea are all over the PSG defenders at the moment. Neto gets in the way of Hakimi's forward ball, and that's out of play for a throw into Paris Saint-Germain, level with the edge of the box. Caicedo's won it back for Chelsea. Cucurella. Beraldo. Turning away from Enzo Fernandez, back to Donnarumma. It's Fabian Ruiz carrying it forward for PSG. Hakimi. They've got nowhere to go though. at the moment, Paris. To the right for Hakimi. Inside to Vitinha. Back to Hakimi. Now Fabian Ruiz. Left-footed ball into the penalty area. Decent run. Punched away by Sanchez. It was Raul Neves. But there's trouble here for PSG as Chelsea bursting forward. Pedro Neto on that left-hand side. João Pedro charging forward as well. It's Pedro Neto. It's a really poor ball. He had two options as well. Palmer at the back post, Neto at the front. And Gusto forced to concede the foul. And then another yellow card has been pulled out of his pocket by Ali Reza Fagani, the Australian official. I can understand this one a little bit more than the other two, but it's getting a little bit niggly as we get closer to half-time. Maybe some tired legs and some tired minds after 40 minutes of football in New York City. Out to this right-hand side for Desiree Doué. Cucurella trying to stay tight. He's got the assistance of Neto as well. They'll work this backwards, PSG, towards the halfway line for Ousmane Dembele. Not where he wants it, though. Ruiz. Mendes. Vitinha. Laid off by Ruiz to Vitinha. Dembele got away from him. Hammered clear by Pedro Neto. Average attendances at this FIFA Club World Cup have been hovering just shy of 40,000. Average number 38,369. They've had 15 games over 60,000. This will make it 16 today at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, but I've had some pretty poor attendances too. 3,000 the lowest. And ticket prices as well have fluctuated massively. In some cases they were up to £350 and then as low as £8 by English money. Attendances have certainly risen in the knockout stages. Interesting idea from FIFA. Certainly has some kinks it needs to iron out. Vitinha will take the corner kick for PSG. He'll take it short as well. To Dembele, to the corner of the box, pull to the edge of the 18-yard box, Doué with a heavy touch, but has to slide it to his right for Hakimi. Now back to Vitinha on the right-hand side, thought about digging out the cross, turns this back to Achraf Hakimi again. Dembele, not too intricate, tried the delicate chip over the top of the Chelsea back line. And they'll just bounce, almost apologetically, into the penalty area. Into the hands of Robert Sanchez. Sanchez tosses this wide. It's on the right flank with Malo Gusto. PSG with more than twice as many passes as Chelsea, but a quarter of as many attempts. As Cole Palmer slips on through to Pedro! Triple Chelsea's lead with a delightfully delicate finish. Flicks over the head of Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's dancing near the corner flag. They're dancing in the stands. And Chelsea might be dancing their way to the title of world champions. What a signing he's been already. Joined the club during the tournament, and that's 3 goals already. PSG can't believe what's happening. Cole Palmer just drove and drove from the halfway line through that right-hand inside channel. João Pedro timed his run perfectly, peeled off Vitinha. In behind Lucas Beraldo. Had the composure to wait for Donnarumma to commit and just get his toe underneath the ball. He's lofted it over the big Italian. Hits the back of the net as well, not even bouncing over the line, it's flush. Into the frame of the goal, into the back of the net. And PSG so rampant in the Champions League final against Inter, have now conceded 3 to Chelsea. They've conceded 3 times as many goals in this game than they have in the entire tournament now, PSG, and they need to fix something, and fast. Because at the moment, Chelsea don't even look like they're trying sometimes. It's been sloppy from PSG. They've given the ball away in really dangerous areas. They're struggling to deal with Reece James in midfield, but here comes Nuno Mendes. Stretching with Chalobah on the edge of the 18-yard box. He's going to skip off the turf, but Sanchez can just stifle that threat. Long from Sanchez. Launched out toward the left-hand side. It's in the direction of Pedro Neto. Will bounce away from him for a PSG throw-in. Well, 6 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. At MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, just outside New York City, where PSG are in pain. Marquinhos, Dembele. He tried to turn it round the corner for João Neves. It's fouled by Marco Correa. It's Vitinha. Hakimi on the right. Halfway line now with Desiree Doué. Mendes. Vitinha in the centre circle. We'll find João Neves. Down the right-hand side for Hakimi. Back to Neves. Caicedo got a toe to it. It's Marquinhos now for PSG on the halfway line with Vitinha. Mendes, Doué. Picked off by Reece James. They were looking for Ruiz. It's Kvaratskhelia. Doué in the way. Reece James with the clearance. Gusto juggles on the touchline. And Chalobah will put his foot through it. As far away from the Chelsea penalty area as they can for the moment. Neves. To Hakimi. Here he is on the right again, Hakimi. Ball towards the penalty spot. Stooping header. Sanchez with the save. João Neves thought he might have just pulled one back there. Had to be brave because Cole had his foot outstretched. It's pretty routine for Sanchez, but an important save as well, especially at this juncture, just before the break. Commanding position with 3.5 minutes left. We've had a time at the end of this first half. Flashed out to the left by Doué. We'll find Kvaratskhelia. As Gusto backpedaling, tries to squeeze between both Gusto and Palmer. And it's Gusto that emerges with it. And he's turned it down the right flank. And it's João Pedro, a willing runner, who'll chase after it and latch onto it too. Still Pedro. Breaks for Neto. Almost overran that, he did, and it's Vitinha that picks it off on the edge of the PSG penalty area. Ruiz. Down this right-hand side, it's forward from Dembele. Hakimi with the cross, clattered against Caicedo. PSG get the decision, it will be a throw-in. Caicedo battling, wins the ball fairly, says the referee. Well, he's changed his mind. got on with it quickly, PSG. Doué chasing after that, and Chalobah can let it run. It's one of those halves for PSG. Started the season on loan with Crystal Palace before being recalled by Chelsea in January. So important to them as well since returning to the club. Launched long from Sanchez from the goal kick. Taken down by Palmer, ball popped up and hit his hand, did it? Mendes certainly thought so. Palmer on the passes behind João Pedro. Ruiz. Dembele. Overhit the pass as he looked for Desiree Doué down the PSG right. Marc Cucurella will wander after that as it rolls over the touchline on the far side. Into Chalobah, who launches that down the flank again. I think both of these two sides are ready for half-time. Scowl etched on the forehead of Luis Enrique. Long from Mendes. Taken down by Doué. Decent control for the first, the second. Well, it got away from him. And he's ended up off the field and the ball in the hands of Robert Sanchez. As the whistle goes for half-time, I don't think in their wildest dreams Chelsea would have ever thought that they'd be 3 goals up at the break. It's been the perfect half for them. Cole Palmer with 2 almost identical goals to give them control of the game, and João Pedro saw them tighten their grip on proceedings at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. If it keeps on going like this could get very embarrassing for the Champions League winners, but they're the Champions League winners for a reason. Plenty of options in their ranks, plenty of pace, power and potency. It's a big second 45 to come. They need to respond, PSG. If they don't, Chelsea could be coming away from this game crowned as world champions. Join us in 15 minutes time for the second half live. At half time, it's Chelsea 3, Paris Saint-Germain 0.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
To get back underway in this quite remarkable FIFA Club World Cup final between Paris Saint-Germain, the Champions League winners, and Chelsea, the Conference League winners, and it's Chelsea that hold a 3-goal advantage at the break. 2 from Cole Palmer early in that first half, followed by João Pedro with his 3rd in as many games for Chelsea since joining just 10 days ago. A little over that, in fact. So it's Chelsea's game to lose at the moment. PSG kicking us off, and that familiar routine we've seen countless times in this tournament, as it's clipped into the opposition's half of the pitch. Now to play deep inside their own half for a throw-in, which they'll pick up the pieces off now in their own segment of this turf at the MetLife Stadium. A fascinating task for now for Chelsea. They've done the hard work. Question now is, can they just keep PSG at bay? But at the moment, Cole Palmer is trying to add to the scoreline. It's PSG that'll pick it off on the edge of their penalty area. No changes at the break, so it's as they started. For Chelsea, that's Sanchez in goal. It's Gusto at right back with Cucurella on the left-hand side. Chalobah and Colwill, the two centre-halves. Pedro Neto will drop in, though, with Chelsea out of possession. He is now into the left wing-back position. And now PSG bursting forward with Mendes. Low across the face of goal, might settle for Ruiz. Really important touch on the way through. Cole Palmer just got back. Mendes, who was caught awkwardly for the opener for Chelsea. Just wouldn't settle for him, and his header back was collected by Malo Gusto. A few passes later, and Cole Palmer had got Chelsea off to the start they were looking for. That's crossfield from Vitinha onto the chest of Kvaratskhelia, who's now running at Malo Gusto. Kvaratskhelia onto his right, low drive, stung the palms of Sanchez, who almost pushed that straight into the path of Ousmane Dembele. It was smuggled away by Levi Colwill, and it's a heavy touch from Hakimi. Now to play for a goal kick. A nervy moment for Chelsea. Robert Sanchez, a man known for them. Ball was just awkwardly bouncing towards him. I think it arrived a bit quicker than he was expecting, Robert Sanchez. Chalobah. Long towards João Pedro, chest that off to Cole Palmer, pirouettes nicely away from Nuno Mendes. Now there's options around him, and Pedro Neto has a lot of space free on his own if they can switch play quickly here, Chelsea. Cole Palmer just held up, and it's back into midfield though for Reece James. That was one of the big changes to the lineups. It was Reece James who is playing in midfield alongside Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. It's João Pedro in possession now, leading the line for Chelsea as he drifts towards this left-hand side, but from an offside position. It's Pedro Neto on the left and Cole Palmer on the right. Donnarumma in goal for PSG, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, the two fullbacks. It's Beraldo and Marquinhos, the centre-back pairing, with Ruiz, Vitinha and João Neves, the trio in midfield. Kvaratskhelia down the left, Desiree Doué down the right, and Ousmane Dembele, who ostensibly is their target man, their man leading the line. So often picks up the ball in deeper positions. That's certainly a cheap challenge from Beraldo to concede the free kick. Just a little arm in the back of João Pedro as the ball was dropping out of this New Jersey sky towards both of them. Chelsea will profit, and they've got Reece James standing over the ball as well. Cole Palmer's out on the right flank if he wants to play it there, and Pedro Neto's going to join him. In fact, they will play it short here, Chelsea, and it's Cole Palmer. Shifts it back onto his left, curls one deep towards the back post, where it'll just bounce off the turf. Another play for a goal kick. Maresca will be delighted with what he's seen so far. The Chelsea manager did a really good job last year of managing Chelsea's quite inflated squad. Still managed to keep the majority of players happy. There is, of course, not too many players on the books at Chelsea at the moment, lots surplus to requirements. And you saw that at the start of the season with the likes of Trevor Chalobah going on loan, and reports of the bomb squad as well at their Cobham training base. But even then, there were still players that, you know, were relatively on the fringes of the Premier League team, and they've got their chances in cup competitions, and they delivered as well in the Conference League. That's a lot more like it from PSG. Vitinha runs onto the back heel, tries to prod that forward towards Dembele, cut out by Cucurella on the edge of the penalty area. Bounces out to that left-hand side. Kvaratskhelia battling now with Palmer, will drop to the Georgian international. It's back from Kvaratskhelia. Mendes inside. Here's Vitinha. It's curled out to Hakimi on the right touchline. Looks infield. PSG looking a little bit more settled now in this second half, with Vitinha starting to dictate things. Ruiz looks between the lines, tries to find Neves. It's back with Mendes. Fabian Ruiz again prods this back to Nuno Mendes, who will be desperate to make amends for his part in one of those Chelsea goals at least. Here's Hakimi on the right hand side for Paris Saint-Germain. Forward from Dembele. Work from Caicedo to shield the ball and win it back for Chelsea. And now here's Enzo Fernandez, who was just smothered by two PSG shirts. And they've won it back too with Doué here. Dances away from Fernandez. Now skips past Cucurella. There's the low cross. Deflection. Colwill. It's a sensational save from Robert Sanchez. Pushes it away. Ousmane Dembele flicked to boost it. Mendes with a cross towards the back post where Desiré Doué was lurking. It's out of play on this near side for a throw-in. It's a sublime piece of goalkeeping from Robert Sanchez. A clever pass from Desiré Doué. He tries to just pull that back. There's a little flick on the way through that takes it closer to Ousmane Dembele. He's all of 2 or 3 yards away from him, Dembele, as Sanchez gets down to his right and flicks a finger at it and keeps it out of the back of the net. And here comes Chelsea again with João Pedro in the centre circle. Palmer. Pedro on the right hand side of the box. Beraldo behind him. Not much support for João Pedro at the moment. He's doing a sterling job of holding off PSG players. Gets himself in a tangle. Wants the free kick. He's not going to get it though. Ruiz. Marquinhos now will try and carry this forward for Paris Saint-Germain. Doué. Laid off to Beraldo. Now shuffled across to Nuno Mendes. There'll be a slight change of emphasis here now, as it seems Nuno Mendes is dropping alongside Beraldo and Marquinhos to fashion a bit of a back three, as here come PSG again. It's Dembele low across the face of goal. There's no one there though. Cucurella take his time to clear that towards Enzo Fernandez. Another physical challenge on the Argentinian. Goes unpunished by the referee, and PSG will play on. Here's Dembele. Edge of the box. Kvaratskhelia to his left. Tries to chop past Gusto, who gets in the way. That's out of play. Will be a corner kick. Enzo Fernandez has been left in a heat downfield though. Was frustrated with Alireza Fagani, the referee's decision. Who's the meat in this PSG sandwich? Vitinha takes it short. Mendes from deep, left-footed ball towards the 6-yard line, where it's slammed away by Reece James. Another play for a throw-in, level with the edge of the box down the left for PSG. That's tossed in to Mendes again. Now Desiré Doué. Tiptoeing his way forward, on a leash from distance. He caught it well, but it's just off target. He scored from that kind of distance already in this tournament, Desiré Doué, and it was just swung away from Robert Sanchez's bottom right-hand corner. Long from Sanchez, straight down the middle, and João Pedro, who's made that really awkward for Beraldo, and he's picked the ball up as well. João Pedro, he might get past him, goes to ground, and the referee, right on top of the incident, waves away João Pedro's appeals for a penalty. He had a very good view of it, Alireza Fagani. PSG trying to make ground down the right-hand side with Hakimi and Vitinha. Back to the former Wolves man, into Marquinhos. Stab towards the centre circle where Mendes will stretch his legs and try to drive through Chelsea's midfield. Straight into Reece James. He's gone to ground off the ball, and a couple of terse words between the pair as Cole Palmer drifts away from Fabian Ruiz down this right-hand side. Palmer holds the ball up on the touchline, waits for some support. Here is Malo Gusto, a couple of steps inside. Now laid off into midfield for João Pedro. Back towards the halfway line. There's Reece James, the link between midfield and defence. He will find Trevor Chalobah. And now it's Caicedo. with Reece James. Now Caicedo for Pedro. Palmer with the run down the right-hand side. Pedro wants to find him. He'll get there in the end. Now Palmer on the edge of the 18-yard box. Caicedo. Cucurella. Fernandes was caught by Vitinha, and he made sure the referee knew about it. That was picked up by the pitch side microphones. And Alireza Fagani will wander across. You can see there's a handful of João Pedro's shirt as Lucas Beraldo tried to hold off the Chelsea forward a few moments ago. It's quickly waved away by the referee, as we said at the time, but not sure a intervention from Bastian Danker would have changed much, to be honest. That's long from Sanchez out towards the right-hand side. He was looking for Palmer, but there's too much on that pass. It's another PSG ball. One work. Approaching the hour mark already. And thus far, the PSG response has been held at bay by Robert Sanchez. Here's João Neves. With Vitinha. Neves. Hakimi. Doué with the raking crossfield ball out to the left-hand side where it's too high and too far away from Kvaratskhelia. And the first change of the afternoon, and it's a PSG one. As Kvaratskhelia wastes no time in getting off the pitch, wanders off on the far side, and he's going to be replaced by Bradley Barcola. The 22-year-old French international. He's already provided 2 assists in this tournament. Luis Enrique will be hoping he can conjure something else up. It's a long way back for Paris Saint-Germain as Doué dispossessed by Caicedo. Now Sanchez. Reece James to the right-hand side. Palmer spins one forward. It's a good ball, and Enzo Fernandez. He just couldn't keep his balance. Here's Hakimi for PSG. Game started to get a little bit stretched. Doué on the right. Cucurella tight to him. Doué inside. Back heel from Neves. Finds Vitinha. Driving straight through the middle. Vitinha from distance, and Sanchez was worried. Full stretch to his right. I think he might have got a little touch on it as well, because it's a corner kick for Paris. We'll have a look at this. Oh, it's a wonderful save. It's another beautiful piece of goalkeeping. 2 fingers, his little finger and his ring finger to the ball has diverted that. Had a play for a corner kick when that was arrowing towards the inside of the post and the back of the net. PSG are throwing everything they can at Robert Sanchez, and at the moment he's just proving to be unbeatable. Taken short by Vitinha. Doué on the corner of the penalty area. Lofts on him right-footed towards the back post where João Pedro was first to it, with Marquinhos poised to apply the finishing touch for Paris. Another corner kick. Oh, it's a lovely piece of defending as well from João Pedro. Takes it away from 2 PSG players with a flick of the toe. Chelsea are going to make another change as Enzo Fernandez, who looked a little bit awkward as he lost balance, is going to be replaced by Andre Santos. The Vasco da Gama talent, the Brazilian youth international. He just stretched awkwardly as he tried to keep possession of that ball with Chelsea getting forward. On comes Andre Santos. Vitinha will deliver this for PSG from the right-hand side. First time they've gone long, that's in towards the near post where it's flicked away by Colwill. Second ball collected midway through the Chelsea half of the pitch by Nuno Mendes. Now Hakimi down the right for Vitinha. Tries to whip that one deep towards the back post. Far too much on that and it'll bounce out of play. It was hung high. Goal kick for Chelsea. Some nervous looking French fans in the stands at MetLife Stadium. It's had a real sense of occasion. The question is, how forced has that been, really? Gianni Infantino has been brilliant in his description of how he thinks the tournament's gone, calling it a roaring success, a wonderful thing that billions of people around the world have watched it, the 32 best teams in world football, he says. Lovely pass to Palmer down the right-hand side. He's tugged down by Ruiz. Nobody's going to get back to his feet anyway, Palmer. Looks for the back heel. João Pedro will keep that alive. And now Palmer from an offside position. And he kicked that against Fabian Ruiz, Cole Palmer. A little flashpoint. With Vitinha. Big showpiece tournament, yes, but there are some interesting questions to answer, but we'll get to that later, as here come PSG again flying forward. João Neves and now Vitinha. Back to Neves. Beraldo, Marquinhos, Dembele, Hakimi, Doué on the right-hand side of the box, pulled back across the face of goal. It's cut away and cut out of danger by Levi Colwill. Now Neto on this left-hand side. Cucurella. Hakimi just stepped across his legs, and Cucurella more than happy to go down under the challenge. Lofted forward by Colwill from the free kick. Straight down the throat of Marquinhos, who volleys that up towards Fabian Ruiz. Tried to flick that wide to Barcola, but where it's been picked off by Gusto in the centre circle. And now with Chalobah, right hand side, Palmer. Finds Caicedo. Now whipped down the right hand side. It's a nice pass by Santos. Low from Gusto, driven straight to Barcola, but it's back to Gusto on the right hand side of the box, edge of the 18-yard area. Neto. Palmer. Wider on the right. Inside to Gusto. Gets it out of his feet and will try his luck on his left. It's just over the crossbar. And the longer that clock ticks on, with PSG failing to beat Robert Sanchez, you have to wonder how much confidence would remain for PSG. It's a long, long way back, as that's a foul brought by Desiree Doué down the right-hand side. Neto got across in front of him. Well, that's good sportsmanship. It's a clash of legs as Doué trying to get away. Neto will respond by wandering up to the young man and helping him with his cramp. João Pedro feeling the effects as well, as he's helped back to his feet by Marquinhos. his compatriot, of course, a little bit more experience, I'd say, Marquinhos than João Pedro, especially at this kind of level. But it's João Pedro who's been instrumental to Chelsea and the position they find themselves in tonight. It's Vitinha with a delivery from the right-hand side, left towards the back post. Sanchez came, and Sanchez claimed. He's making a case for himself to be included amongst the nominations for man of the match at this point. Robert Sanchez. One shaky moment I can really remember. Collision here with Fabian Ruiz, Cole Palmer involved. We'll give a free kick for PSG and an opportunity for Chelsea to get fresh legs. They don't come much fresher than Liam Delap. Brought in this summer from Ipswich Town. They'll offer a different test for Marquinhos and Beraldo. So far, these Chelsea recruits have just been fitting in straight away. It's not something you've been able to say in recent years. Chelsea have lacked, like so many across the Premier League, a quality finisher. Here's Delap. Keeps the ball alive. Santos back to Liam Delap, now bursting forward, driving at Beraldo. Delap steps inside. Delap from the edge of the box. Delap with an effort. Oh, it's topped. A tip round the post by Gianluigi Donnarumma. Almost an instant impact from the former Manchester City man. He brings the best out of the Italy international. It's a really good save from Gianluigi Donnarumma. Liam Delap will take his place inside the 6-yard box. Bit of a shoving match with Nuno Mendes. Gianluigi Donnarumma's got involved as well. And the referee's going to step in and have a word with Liam Delap and Nuno Mendes. Delap right in front of Gianluigi Donnarumma. Nuno Mendes trying his best to keep him away from the goalkeeper as Pedro Neto stands over this from the far side. Whipped in left-footed and right on top of the goalkeeper, and Chalobah was jumping in front of him. James chests it down. Palmer with a miscue. Two changes imminent for PSG. Gonzalo Ramos and Seni Mayulu scored in the Champions League final back in May. And Reece James, meanwhile, has just taken a little seat as we are going to see another cooling break here. Midway through this second half. So far, so good for Chelsea. In fairness to Paris, they've created some decent opportunities, but have been held at bay by some wonderful goalkeeping from Robert Sanchez. Luis Enrique trying desperately to get his players up for one last charge. It's almost 30-degree weather in New Jersey this afternoon in the northeast of America. Just 20 minutes left. The past few weeks of critique and criticism will be revisited, I'm sure, in the weeks to come. But at the moment, if you're a Chelsea fan, I'm sure you don't care a jot about any of that, because it's not every day that your side are so comfortable against a Champions League winning outfit. And a side so normally ruthless and so used to dominating on this kind of stage. Luis Enrique does not look like a happy man tonight. It's been a picture of frustration from almost the first kick of the game. Well, a few more changes than we were expecting. In fact, there's going to be 3 coming on now. Hakimi off, Doué off, and Ruiz off. It's Warren Zaire-Emery who's also going to be joining proceedings. Seni Mayulu trudging on, and on comes Gonzalo Ramos. Donnarumma. Beraldo. Vitinha on the edge of his own box. It's Donnarumma. Marquinhos. Back to Beraldo. PSG again is struggling to get out of their own half at the moment as Chelsea are pressing high. Delap now. Pressure on Marquinhos. Gonzalo Ramos through the middle. Barcola and Zaire-Emery offering support as that's lofted up towards Gonzalo Ramos, and a simple one in the end for Chalobah. Just cushion this back towards Robert Sanchez. Forward, straight over the top by Sanchez. It's a good first touch by Neto into his feet. Now on this left-hand side, Neto checks back and finds the support of Andre Santos. Challenged by Zaire-Emery. No fouls as the referee. Santos back to his feet, but he can't keep possession. Now here's Mayulu. Caught by Caicedo. PSG free kick, and it's out on this left-hand side now. Bradley Barcola. Mayulu in towards Gonzalo Ramos. So close, really important intervention though from Trevor Chalobah. PSG still in possession, that's steered round the corner. Zaire-Emery, pull back! It won't sit for João Neves. Danger hasn't gone though. Cucurella tries to get it away, draws the foul. And João Neves is hauling him back to his feet. He's picked him up. Marc Cucurella refused to stand up. It's been heroic defending from Chelsea this afternoon. And again, PSG really well positioned. Chelsea were too. There's a question being asked about a potential handball in there from Andre Santos. Luis Enrique clearly thought that Marc Cucurella went to ground a bit too easily. finally you can understand why. I'm not sure there actually was contact with the fullback. Well, we've got 14 minutes left and some more changes, I think, coming for Chelsea. Former Leicester man Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall will be coming on. Mamadou Sarr might also be getting a run out. Moise Caicedo, it's Reece James in fact that's going to wander off. It's Pedro Neto also following Reece James off, the Chelsea captain. It's always a little bit more disconcerting when you see Reece James walking off flanked by the Chelsea medical staff. Yeah, it's Christopher Nkunku that'll be coming on for Chelsea. Scored against Benfica in the last 16. He will come on for Pedro Neto. He's had to be really disciplined today, Pedro Neto. Dropping into that left-back position. Free kick to get us back underway. Robert Sanchez standing over it, just in front of his 6-yard line. Sanchez. Delap's cushion header won't find Dewsbury-Hall. PSG with the throw in, Warren Zaire-Emery. So then he'll get PSG moving again. Ronaldo, Mendes on the left-hand side. It's forward for Barcola. Clipped into the path of Vitinha. Level with the edge of the box now, the former Wolves midfielder. Toe to it from Palmer. And now Liam Delap. Decent bit of footwork. Darts away from Nuno Mendes, but he couldn't take the ball with him either. Fall back for a foul conceded by Andre Santos. Moises Caicedo is now wearing the captain's armband since the departure of Reece James. It's Barcola on the left-hand side. Vitinha, Marquinhos, wide to Zaire-Emery, and now Dembele. Flashes one cross-field. Mendes will let it run. It's been picked up on the touchline on that left by João Neves. Down the line for Nuno Mendes. It's Ousmane Dembele wide on this left flank. Cross clattered into the outstretched leg of Malo Gusto. Towards Robert Sanchez, and he claims that with ease again. And Chelsea are strolling their way towards this title now, and that's long downfield towards Liam Delap and sliding in. Beraldo's giving it away to Delap. Delap for 4! Donnarumma makes another really big stop. He drove horizontally across the box there. Liam Delap got the better of Beraldo. Tried to take on Gianluigi Donnarumma, who stayed tall. And it's off the toe of the goalkeeper. Chelsea corner kick. And Nkunku to leave it to Cole Palmer. We're into the last 10 minutes. Still PSG can't find a route past Robert Sanchez. And Nkunku. For Gusto, Vitinha. Little pirouette, eye-catching. But possession conceding. Chelsea with the throw in. Gusto. Palmer. Still Palmer holding off challenges. Dewsbury Hall. Cucurella. Colwill tried to flick that forward towards Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. He made a decent move through the middle. Colwill with a tug back on Warren Zaire-Emery. He knew exactly what he was doing, trying to tug back at Warren Zaire-Emery. Pulled the yellow card out very quickly. Alireza Fagani. He's allowed the free kick to be taken pretty quickly there. It's Barcola, edge of the penalty area, tries to get past Gusto. Barcola straight into the gloves of Robert Sanchez at his near post. So long from Dewsbury Hall. He was looking for Cole Palmer, just too far in front of him. Switched out towards the left by Marquinhos, but it's been picked off of Barcola's toe by Malo Gusto. Santos looks for Nkunku. He found him. Nkunku was directed towards the turf by Nuno Mendes. Big day for Malo Gusto. Clearly he's wanted to make an impact. You can understand as well. Came to the youth team. He's getting one over against his old club tonight, though. Malo Gusto, and he's been one of Chelsea's best players at times too. Here's Liam Delap. He's looking for the contact. It never came, so he tried to flick it down the touchline where it's Nuno Mendes that picks up the scraps for PSG, and they'll try and get forward and get going again. Dembele dawdled on it. Cucurella won the ball, but unfairly, says the referee. It's Vitinha. And now Dembele. Slight out across to Nuno Mendes. Down the left flank for Barcola. Well, Cucurella's gone to ground on the edge of the penalty area. João Neves involved, and a yellow card has been shown to João Neves. And Cole Palmer had a good view of that. It was behind the referee. I have to admit, I didn't see the incident myself, but Marc Cucurella, well, his hair has been pulled previously by, well, it has there as well. João Neves has pulled the hair of Marc Cucurella. Now, in the Premier League, last season, the player was sent off on review for doing that. Well, Bastian Dankert of Germany, the video assistant referee, will be looking at the replay. And Alireza Fagani has made the sign of the screen. He's wandering across towards the touchline where he's going to be shown the replay we've seen. And I'd be incredibly surprised if he doesn't overturn his decision and give this as a red card to João Neves. He's having a long, hard look at this and being talked through what he's seeing by Bastian Dankert. He's seen enough, the referee. We will hear the decision in the stadium as well. Another innovation. And there is confirmation. He's seen the video. There's no complaints from João Neves. And you could almost see it in his face as well after he reacted that way. A nightmare in New Jersey for Paris Saint-Germain. And João Neves quickly jogs down the tunnel. In the words of the referee, a violent conduct. Sanchez. Clearance closed down by Ramos. PSG now playing with 10. Luis Enrique must be absolutely seething inside. Gusto. Ball on the far side, and it's Andre Santos that's gone to ground clutching his head this time. A tangle of legs outside the box with Caicedo, who's seen PSG be awarded a free kick. Seni Mayulu holding his right shin. It was late, it wasn't malicious from Moses Caicedo. Up comes the vanishing foam. It'll be Vitinha take this set piece. Maybe give something for PSG. Square to Mendes, clatter on towards goal. That's rifled off the head of Malo Gusto. It will be a corner for PSG, which Vitinha too will take. Mayulu has space on the edge of the box. He's in towards the near post and away by Gusto. Palmer's clearance straight to Zaire Emery, back to Vitinha, floats one towards the back post, and it's steered behind by Andre Santos, who celebrates that like he's scored a goal. Two minutes left to play at MetLife Stadium in New York. A goal kick for Chelsea. Ousmane Dembele's been shown a yellow card. Paris falling apart. And a reminder that while they may be on cloud 9 after their Champions League win, it doesn't take much to bring someone back down to earth in this topsy-turvy sport we call football. Chelsea with the free kick inside their own half of the pitch. It's played to Nkunku in the centre circle, but he's caught on the ball by Barcola. Returned it to it by Vitinha out to that left-hand side. 3 around Bradley Barcola. Curls one in towards the 6-yard box. It dropped for Gonzalo Ramos. It came off the back of his heel and allowed Cucurella to clear it away. Gonzalo Ramos looks down ruefully at the goal line, which is right next to him. It's one of those nights for Paris Saint-Germain. Zaire Emery, blocked by Palmer. Nodded away by Cucurella, Dewsbury Hall. Palmer near the corner. Clattered forward, and there is Liam Delap to take it down. No foul, says the referee, as Marquinhos gets back to his feet. It's Lucas Beraldo. Delap, one-on-one. Forced backwards. Gets a toe to the ball. Gonzalo Ramos tracking back, he's caught him. This will be a free kick for Chelsea late on. Another opportunity for them to take all the sting out of the game and waste as much time as possible. Oh, so close to the Club World Cup trophy now. As we've played 90 minutes, Cole Palmer saying to the referee that he's pulling out all the tricks. They'll have 5 more minutes at MetLife Stadium. Cucurella and Nkunku. Cucurella again. Palmer. And Nkunku. Vitinha was caught on the edge of his own box. PSG with the free kick. Donnarumma gets on with it quickly. Now Mendes striving forward. Looking for Barcola. Gusto sliding in. Chalobah with the clearance. Hoofed into the back row by Trevor Chalobah. Quickly taken the throw-in by Ousmane Dembele. Nuno Mendes, in fact. Now Bradley Barcola, level with the edge of the box out on the left-hand side. Pulled back. Mayulu, Vitinha. Marquinhos. Whipped towards the back post, edge of the penalty area. Ramos flicks it on, Barcola takes it down. The flag goes up. He's in an offside position. The penny for Luis Enrique's thought. That's floated out to the right-hand side by Sanchez. Too far away from Delap. Another throw-in. Quickly taken by PSG. The game's gone now, though. A chance of turning this around this late on, but maybe something at least to give their supporters, many of which have made the long trip out from France to the United States to watch them here. But they're having to do some defending here. As Liam Delap in possession, Vitinha's been left in a heap on the turf. Here's Chalobah. Now Sanchez. Was he caught in possession? Barcola waved back to his feet. A nervous moment for Robert Sanchez, who's been almost faultless tonight. Marquinhos forward to Vitinha. No Mendes. Vitinha. Zaire Emery on this right-hand side, pulled back to Marquinhos. Clipped towards the back post. Nodded away by Malo Gusto. And Kunku. Delap. Out on the right-hand side, looking for the corner flag. Yellow card shown to Nuno Mendes as he went straight through Malo Gusto. Just slipped into that challenge, Nuno Mendes. It's been a long, hard day in New Jersey for both of these teams. In tough conditions, as it has been throughout a lot of the tournament. Chelsea ready to celebrate, ready to party. They've picked a good city for it. And Kunku, Gusto. Matter of time now for the Blues as Andre Santos goes down. No foul, says the referee. PSG playing for pride. Mustering one last attack, but it's an attack that won't persist as Chalobah was caught there. Enzo Maresca has a smile plastered across his face. He knows, with seconds ticking away, his side are almost there. There are some frayed tempers in the PSG team, and you can understand that. The shirts are already ready, the shirts bearing the name World Champions 25 on the back. We're in added time on added time, and the referee puts the whistle to his lips. Full time in New Jersey, and it's Chelsea who stand tallest at the end of this long, strange, unpredictable season. PSG came here hunting history. They'd already lifted 4 trophies, steamrolled the Champions League, and arrived in the final with one hand on a 5th. But make no mistake, they've been dismantled tonight as well. not by a veteran juggernaut, but by a team in transition, a team still learning who